I shot up in my bed panting. I had had some type of nightmare, something involving airplanes crashing and screaming children, but I couldn't remember it clearly past a few fleeting images. I swung my legs out of bed, wiping my face. There was no way I'd be able to get back to sleep right away, not with how my heart was pounding. Is that because you have to fly back to America soon? I crept from my room and down into the kitchen, getting a glass of water and draining it. The hostel tended to be pretty quiet at night, since almost everybody had either work or school in the mornings. The only people who consistently stayed up late were Aussie and Brendan, who liked to party. It was apparently unusual for people our ages to be so well behaved, but I appreciated it. Sufficiently calmer, I was about to head back up the stairs when I heard a noise from the living room. I froze in place, my heart starting to pump with adrenaline again. Was someone or something there? Everything was dark. No one should be down here unless they'd fallen asleep on the sofa or something. Or they were a burglar trying to rob the hostel, says the woman who's up when no one should be down here. I crept closer. Maybe it was just my imagination. There was a loud thud and a voice, "Female?" cried out before being suddenly cut off, as if someone or something had tried to muffle her. Was someone being assaulted? I clutched the glass in my hand, ready to throw the water in an attacker's face and then smash them over the head with the glass if I had to. I couldn't just walk away. The hecky hey. I tiptoed into the living room where I could just barely make out a dark shape on the sofa. Two people struggling. My heart was beating so loudly I was surprised they couldn't hear my approach. Should I throw the water as a distraction or turn on the lights to blind them? Good grief. But if I turn on the lights, they're gonna see me, right? That seems like a bad idea. Alright. I say splash first. Let's try that. Ah! I lunged, throwing my glass of water over the figures, hoping to startle them apart. And I found myself sprawled on the floor, something pressing into my shoulder. What? Something touched my throat, and then I felt pressure. Ah! I coughed and sputtered, arms flailing uselessly at my sides. I was being choked? I was going to die in a hostel in England, and I hadn't even told my parents how much I loved them. The lights flickered on, momentarily blinding me. Whatever was holding me down eased up, and I gulped for air. When I could see again... I am so sorry. Well, this is extremely awkward. Danny was on top of me, but this time eyes dark with rage. Peggy stood by the light switch, clutching a blanket around her, though it didn't cover much. What? Oh, it was just you. Danny's tone was light. The look on his face was anything but. Sorry about that, Malia. He got off of me and helped me up. I coughed, rubbing my now sore throat. You were... Shagging, yes. We're dating, see. Ah! Danny crossed the room and wrapped an arm around Peggy's shoulders, his eyes almost daring me to disapprove. Well, I'm glad you guys actually ended up getting together when I wasn't in the picture. Oh, that's... great. My gaze shifted between them. Peggy looked absolutely terror-stricken, watching me rub my throat. Well, congratulations, then. Thank you. Malia, are you all right? Sure, I'm quite fine. Well then, I'll just be letting you all get back to... bye. I ran from the room, not stopping until I was safe behind my own bedroom door. I had no idea those two were dating. Sure, Peggy had always seemed interested, but Danny never seemed to treat her differently than anyone else. Then again, I had never seen Danny like that either. I guess I did sort of attack him, but I really hoped Peggy was okay. My face was hot. I set down my glass and crawled into bed, staring into the darkness. One thing was for sure, I wasn't thinking about nightmares anymore. Interesting. I wonder what would have happened if we had done the light option. We won't get that scene next time, because we'll be dating Peggy, but the time after we might get that again. So I'll wait till then. I won't reload right now. Oh.
Next up, we have a couple from right here in London. Angelo and MALIA.
Angelo led me out onto the dance floor, and my mind began to race. Oh no. This was a mistake. I should never have let him talk me into this. I was going to make a fool of myself. I didn't even know how to dance. He barely had time to walk me through any of the steps. Just how did he think we were going to pull this off? Did he really want me to fall flat on my face in front of all these people?
Give it your best shot. No pressure after all.
Was my panic that clear to the audience? Angelo put his hand on my waist and lifted my hand into the air.
Trust me. Don't worry, okay?
He smiled at me and squeezed my hand.
Follow my lead. Let me control how you move for just a few minutes. Can you do that?
I nodded, heart pounding, and then the music started. I was like, I see why you're taking her dancing. Because you gotta let the guy lead, after all. Angelo stepped forward, so I stepped backward. He tugged me to the side, so I followed his lead. Although it was awkward at first, Angelo gave gentle guidance, nudging my body in one direction or another. He lifted my arm for a twirl, and I hesitated, uncertain, and we missed a beat. It was clear we had messed up. Angelo frowned and whispered once more.
Trust me.
Trust myself. Come on, girl. Work with him. You told him you were going to trust him. I nodded and took a deep breath. Trust him. Trust Angelo. As I relaxed, it began to flow more and more. The more I stopped overthinking, the smoother the moves and transitions seemed to be. Finally, I did what he suggested and surrendered control to him. I didn't want to try to control the dance. When I did, we messed up. Instead, I believed in Angelo. He knew what to do, and he wouldn't let me down. It was a little frightening. It was such a simple thing that we were doing, just a silly dance for a competition, but I wasn't used to trusting someone else so much. He spun me on the dance floor and then got a wicked gleam in his eye.
Jump on 3. Trust me, please.
Okay. 1, 2... The third beat came and I jumped. Angelo placed his hands on my waist and lifted me into the air. Dang, strong boy. I wasn't sure what he did. It all looked like a giant blur to me, but we landed still on beat and continued dancing as though nothing had happened. The audience gasped and applauded from the sidelines. Angelo grinned at me and whispered,
Thank you.
When the song ended, Angelo beckoned to me first. I curtsied, then he bowed. Together we walked out the stage regal as anything. That was amazing! I whispered to Angelo so as not to interrupt the next couple's dance. He squeezed my hand in response.
And in third place we have Angelo and MALIA.
We didn't entirely win. To be honest though, I felt like third place was enough of a win for a klutzy beginner like me. Not to mention, I had learned an important lesson. Angelo and I picked up the gift certificate to some restaurant or other, and I hugged him right there in front of everybody. He beamed at me. It felt like we had reached a new level in our relationship, all without saying a word. Aw. That was so much fun, Angelo. Thank you. I never knew you could dance so well.
It is something of a tradition in my family. You can't have a man that doesn't know how to dance. You could hardly call him a man in that case.
I pulled him into a hug and then into a kiss. I like, as soon as we got back to the room, like, you guys are you're gonna do that thing again, aren't you? Once again, words were not needed. I fully trusted him and followed his lead, and it led to a night unlike any other. I never knew love or trust like this could exist, but now that I had it with Angelo, I never wanted to let it go. Goodness, you two. I can't believe... Aussie? Yep. Alright, I'm gonna hear you out, and I'm gonna throw you under the bus later. Because I haven't done that yet. Almost time to go home. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's... I will do that one of these times when it's like a bad ending. Should I do location was great? I'll save again. There we go. Well, I like London, and it was easy to get out and see things from here. My room was pretty nice, I guess. It was mostly quiet. I could do my homework and sleep. Why are you asking me this? Alright. Alright, now, let's see what happens with this. I shrugged. I'm not the police. I'm not even the landlord. And I'm leaving tomorrow. What happens to her doesn't matter to me anymore. Whatever James wants to do with her is fine with me. But I'd really like to get my parents' money back.
I don't have it anymore. That's your problem.
James walked into the room, tape recorder in hand.
If you don't pay up, you're out of here.
He shrugged at me.
Can't promise you'll get a refund.
That's okay. But... James grabbed hold of her shoulder and tugged her away. Well. As she was taken from the room, she looked over her shoulder at me, like a wounded dog, like I'd done something wrong. You brought this on yourself. She grimaced at me, then turned away, and Aussie never trusted another human being again. And that was the last I saw of her. Alright. Oh, and then we finished our meal. Well, it was somewhat satisfying to see Aussie get, her comeuppance. Angelo walked beside me, his hand on my back as we mounted the stairs, supportive as always. At the entrance to my room, he paused.
I have to get a few hours of sleep. I'll need to leave around dawn for my flight.
You should have told him you were going tomorrow. That dinner should have been for you, too.
It was for me. I was there. I ate.
You know what I mean.
I would rather not make a show of myself. I have never cared for goodbyes.
The sad music, though. I knew from the look on his face that he was trying not to cry, and he would feel terrible about it if he did. Then let's not say it. This isn't goodbye. We will meet again. I'm sure of it.
You are too good to me, Kara.
I can be a good girl sometimes. I took a deep breath. Good night, Angelo. Safe travels.
To you as well.
And with that, he was gone. Despite what I'd said, it really was goodbye. For now. So that's why he wasn't there in the morning when we left last time, because he was flying home as well. Alright. Oh. Also, I wanted you to know, I am so sorry about what happened that night with Danny. He's not usually like that, but... well, we broke up. It's for the best, I think. We can still be friends. Interesting. So after that, I guess she got really freaked out about Danny's darker side and was like, nope. Okay. Oh yeah, we have to say goodbye to you in a different way this time, so you're not seeing me out to the curb.
You're all packed then.
Danny appeared behind me, a kind smile on his face. I nodded.
You checked the bathroom, right? Not going to freak out because you missed a hairbrush.
I think I got everything.
Right. If you leave anything behind, I'll forward it to the address you left with us in the beginning, so let me know if you move. I'll need to make sure my letters, any letters any of us send, go to the right place. I won't let you fall behind on the happenings here.
Aw, thanks, Danny. Tears threatened to fill my eyes, and I smiled broadly. Yeah, thanks, Danny.
Of course. Whatever I can do. But don't forget good old Danny, right? Never forget all the good I've done for you. Like choking you in the middle of the night.
I won't.
Bye, Mark. Bye, Ashley. Bye, G-Hill. And I'm home.
Alright, so what did, Jinsu.
So, is there a special someone that you're going to see again?
You know, we'll see how things go. I grinned broadly at them. Alright. So that was the difference there. Months later! Alright, epilogue with Angelo. What happened? Are we gonna go visit his family? That's nice.
Seriously, don't mention Teresa's beauty mark. Don't even look at it. And while you're at it, make sure you tell Pippi she looks beautiful in the shoes she's wearing. She's insecure about her feet, and it'll make her like you.
The old man in the seat next to us glared at Angelo and adjusted his headrest, evidently wanting to get as much sleep as possible during the short flight to Italy.
There's not any reason they won't like you, mind. It's just that it's good to be careful, and I want them to like you. Of course they will. But my mom can be rough, and Roxy... Oh, Roxy! Roxy once shredded my ex's dress because she was sleeping with another guy. Not that you would, but don't bring that up either. And make sure...
Angelo! I put a hand over his and smiled at him. You don't need to worry. You like me, after all. If you think I'm good enough, I'm sure your family will too.
I know. It's just... You're just a bit different than they're used to. You don't do the girl things they do.
Right, so we obviously speak two completely different languages. All I'll have to do is talk about how you throw your underwear on top of the toilet seat, of all places. We'll bond over how annoying it is. Why? Angelo blushed.
I told you not to talk about that anymore.
It's just so peculiar. Why throw it there? And then to not notice that the lid was up.
It was one time.
And you didn't notice, so I...
It was the one time.
The man in the seat next to us gave a loud grumble and shifted. I put a finger to my lips. It's time for us to quiet down. You can keep worrying the whole way through if you want. I'm going to watch a movie. I pulled out my tablet and shifted over to Singing in the Rain, as Angelo crossed his arms and pouted.
It's not like I'm worried about it. I was trying to strategize.
I started the movie and plugged in the headphone device we use. It splits out into two headphones, so both of us could listen at once if we wanted. Angelo eyed the other earbuds.
Is it a good movie?
A classic.
Is it one of those soppy romance movies you always cry at?
You mean the ones you always cry at? Then yes.
It's not that I cry. My eyes get wet from yawning. I'm surprised you can see through your tears.
Shh! It's starting. Angelo shifted in his seat, glanced at the earbuds once more, then put them in his ears.
I guess it's better than nothing.
I smiled. When would he learn to be honest with himself? I squeezed his hand, his engagement ring, pressing against my palm. His family would definitely support his decision. They would be happy for us, I knew it. He proposed! And they're going to tell his family! That's so nice! Yay! I wanted to know what kind of ring he got her. Probably very traditional, like gold band, 1 diamond. Very, very nice. Oh, that was so cute. Aside from the one thing where he just went completely off on her and thought she had actually stolen, everything was great about this route. I really, really liked it. Just that one thing. I mean, at least the reason for it was because he was insulted that she didn't go to him for help, but come on, dude. Ugh. So aggravating. And that was kind of interesting about Danny and Peggy. Oh yeah, now that we're done this, what did we get? We romanced Angelo. Oh. A neutral and a bad ending. Huh. Well. I don't know how I'm gonna get those. I'm gonna have to do some fiddling with that. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of info on this game, so it's hard to find out how to do these things. I'm gonna try my darndest, though. I'll do some fiddling and we'll try to get the neutral and bad endings. I don't know in which order I'm gonna find them, but we'll find out next... Excuse me. Random burp out of nowhere. We'll find out next time, guys. Alright, thank you very much for joining me on Angelo's Good Route. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and we'll see which ending we get next time. Until then, I will see you later.